2 out. And Wilson strikes him out. Strikes out both Kepler and Correa. And it's still 3-1.
Carlos Correa is getting booed in Minnesota. Now, I don't think anybody was expecting that. That's for sure. Now, if you like this video, please subscribe and like the video and yada, yada, yada. So, we're trying to think of different things to talk about. Having a lot of fun here, quite frankly. At the Baseball 2. But let's talk about Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa obviously had spent most of his career with the Houston Astros. They let him walk. They put Jeremy Pena at shortstop, and he turned out to be the World Series MVP last year. So they haven't missed him. And then, of course, last year he signed a contract, long-term contract with the Twins. And after the first year, he opted out. And there was a lot of drama surrounding Carlos Correa and his contract situation. He originally negotiated with the San Francisco Giants on a 13-year, multi-year, gigantic 300 and whatever $1 million contract it was. And I guess 369 it was. But there was a problem with his physical. And in fact, it had gotten so close to being signed that they invited his family to a press conference. They set up a whole press conference with the media in San Francisco. And unfortunately, they had to cancel it because he did not pass his physical. Interestingly enough, he didn't pass his physical. And because of that, they put the kibosh on the deal. And as they were negotiating some kind of like, I guess at some point maybe you call it discount, that didn't work out. And the New York Mets went in and they tried to sign him to a 12-year, $350 million contract. Now, on my regular channel, The Baseball Hut, I was not too keen on this because he already had issues with this ankle. I guess he broke the ankle in 2014 in the minor leagues. And he also has been very brittle. He's been not very durable in the major leagues. He only played 109 games in 2017. Played 110 games in 2018. Played 75 games in 2019. Last year, he missed 26 games. So he's missed a lot of time as a player. Now, he is known as a guy that hits big pitching. He's a guy that really kills good pitching. But he's had to deal with a lot of injuries in his career. And I did not think at the time that it was a very good investment for the New York Mets to bring him in to be the third baseman. He was going to come in here and be the third baseman on this team. And luckily that he then, at that point, Steve Cohen, Mets owner, he announced that this was the final piece of the puzzle. They had decided they were going to sign him. And everything seemed to be hunky-dory. But then something, of course, did not go over well. And that was, again, this physical due to this ankle. And insurance companies that the Mets were dealing with, they didn't want to insure the 12-year length of contract that he was asking for and that the Mets had offered. So the Mets were trying to negotiate some kind of I guess, fewer years, less money. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out. So he goes back to the Twins, and eventually signs a 6-year, $200 million contract. And he lost over $150 million in the course of this negotiation. Now, as you see at the beginning of this video, he's being booed in Minnesota because he's not playing well. Currently, he's hitting 189 for the Twins. And 127 at-bats, 373 on-base percentage, 370 slugging percentage. He's got 6 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 home runs. And an OPS of 643, and an OPS plus of 78. Pathetic. As a shortstop. These teams that did not get him, they're probably thanking their lucky stars that they didn't bring him in here. Because can you imagine if he came to the New York Mets and he was hitting like this? with the way the Mets are playing right now. And the fact that they might have traded Brett Beatty for something, and he's playing pretty well for some other team. Can you imagine that? The kind of like vitriol we would be dealing with, what I'd be dealing with, what I'd be screaming about on the regular baseball hut. But to see this, how he's playing. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the Twins faced the Yankees, and he had a great series. And in fact, they took the first time since 2001, the Minnesota Twins, took a season series from the New York Yankees. It has been over 20 years since the Twins took a series from the Yankees. I guess after doing all that, I guess it's like, you know what? I guess Correa figured, you know what? I killed the Yankees. My season's pretty much done. But, you know, I'm sure the numbers will pick up. He played okay last year for them. So I would expect those numbers to get better. I can't imagine them getting worse. Imagine them getting worse. You know. And he's 30 years old. 28 years old, so he's fairly young. I don't know. Now his wins above replacements is a positive. And that probably due more towards his very strong defense. But if you're a fan of this guy, you're probably very shocked at how he's playing. Now, if you're a New York Met fan, you're probably thinking, like myself, I'm glad the Mets didn't get him, because then this situation would have been far, far worse if he's doing this kind of production on the New York Mets. But boy, oh boy. Sometimes you get lucky. Mets haven't been too lucky lately, but this was the one instance that, at least in the first month and a half, the New York Mets kind of dodged a bullet by not signing Carlos Correa. Now, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. I appreciate your time watching, and I'll see you later.